Carr, and now the salary cap nerds are questioning whether the cap is even real. Mickey Loomis and Kai Harley have shattered the nerds' entire worldview. We're going to celebrate. Thomas, hit that intro.
Barstool Mincy of Barstool Sports here. I'm good friends with the Saints Happy Hour podcast, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm really just friends with Andrew Hughes, so I support him because I feel sorry for him. Good dude, but way too bougie to take seriously when it comes to football.
Sean Payton would have done illegal things. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because you know it's true.
Ralph? If he was an NFL GM, a team would never win a freaking game. Trade this, sign this guy. Awful ideas and armchair quarterbacking, full-blown panic every show.
Marcus Marquez Callaway.
With Dave, here's the key. When he talks, just mute or fast forward 5 minutes. Hopefully he's done talking by then and headed back to the bathroom where he seems to eternally live.
Put that freaking clown meme back up that I made. Jesus Christ.
Then Kevin, man, why the hell is he still on the show? He doesn't even watch the damn games, and somehow they keep inviting him.
Budrich wants to know how the doctor's doing.
That ended.
Podcasting poverty, man. Who dat?
All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Saints Happy Hour podcast. We are live on Twitch. If you aren't, follow us on Twitch and remember to subscribe to Saints Happy Hour wherever you get your podcast. Smash that like button on YouTube. Also, become an annual patron at patreon.com/Saints Happy Hour and get 2 months for free. We have the limited edition Boys Are Back Cup as a gift for any new annual patrons at any level. Thanks to Joshua, Clark, Booger MC, Linda, Cap Thief, Morgus, DDT Monsoon, Max, Sims, Annie, and Boudreaux's Pants for becoming patrons today. How about that? Our off-season MVP contest is also underway. Anyone who donates any amount during the show each week gets entered into one of our drawings on April 17th and gets 2 Saints season survival mugs for 2023 season. Lord knows you're going to need them. Maybe a little less now that they have Derek Carr. The person who donates the most each week gets entered into our drawing on April 17th to do their own mock Saints draft with us on their own daily episode of the pod. How amazing is that? And the person who donates the most each week gets to have a 30-second video of themselves giving their Saints hot take played the following week. Thomas, I know it's early in the show, but do we have an MVP leader already?
Yes, we do, Chadem. Free just donated 5 tier 1 gift subs. So he's in the lead with 2,500 bits. Budrich has donated 145 bits, and he says, gotta get a good convertible playlist going, and just right now, Illinois has resubscribed with Twitch Prime. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys. It's been amazing.
We're close to a hype train, apparently.
We're over 3,000 listens today, downloads. It's amazing. I'm drinking the champagne of beers because it's Derek Carr Day. Why wouldn't you?
I was thinking about opening up a bottle of champagne. You know, I'm not going to do my wedding anniversary is tomorrow. It'll be
my wedding.
I think that's hold on, I got 14 years. 14 years since I've been married. Don't worry, I'm not going to get weird like Dave does on his anniversary. But you know, I thought about opening a bottle of champagne, but I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So instead, I opened up a bottle of wine. I'm doing a little Châteauneuf du Pape. This one is Domaine du Père Caboche. 2021.
That's a check. That's a check in the bougie column.
Dude, the bougie.
And how's my video, by the way? Am I glitching?
No.
All right, let's go.
Damn.
The bouge meter is overheating. It's got smoke coming out of it. You're gonna break it. My birthday is this week, and that ain't the most exciting thing that's happened in my life this week.
Hold on. I have not gone yet. God, Ralph. This is the second time that you want to just gloss over the drinking segment. This is week 1 for me on the podcast of not drinking, going totally sober. So I'm drinking Sam Adams, just the haze, non-alcoholic, hazy, juicy IPA. It's doesn't really scratch the itch, but That's all I've got.
Oh my God.
At the end of the show, Thomas is going to put up a poll, and y'all vote whether you like sober Dave or normal Dave better.
Normal
Or
Dave.
no Dave at all.
I vote normal Dave. So my birthday's this week. I'll be 47.
Oh my God, that's old.
It is old, but it's not that my birthday is not the biggest thing that happened to me this week. Derek Carr is a Saint. Dave, I'll start with you. Are you happy? I'm euphoric. I get excited whenever the Saints are on the front page of ESPN.com and it's not a player getting arrested. I'm excited. So I loved it. It was like Christmas. It's like Christmas in March.
I don't know. I really don't know how I feel. He just doesn't move the needle for me. I mean, look, I get it. They paid him he's going to be like the 8th or the 9th highest paid quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I mean temporarily, but like in a year when like Burrow and
right.
There's like 4 or 5 quarterbacks that are like about to get done, including Lamar Jackson, who's like any second. And once those get done, like he'll be like 13th or 14th.
Yeah, and I mean like that seems fair. He's maybe 10 or 11 as far as quality is concerned on the field product. But it's just this is just look. I'm glad they're not. I don't want them to tank. I don't want them to just give up. Like, look, they're still going at it. They're making an honest effort. There's no such thing as rebuild. All gas, no brakes.
Rebuilds are for cowards.
All gas, no brakes. And look, I can respect that. But this just doesn't do it for me. And it's not I don't see this as a long-term solution. I don't know. I see this as maybe he just does this one contract and then they move on. But I don't know. Who knows? He can.
Dave just taking a dump in our party punch.
Dave, does Geno Smith getting 3 years, $105 million from the Seahawks today? Does that make you feel any better?
Yeah, you know what? Like the money, like F the money. Like what? It's not my. It's like I don't really care about that.
Right.
It's just. I don't know. I thought we were gonna go. I just thought we were gonna go a little bit bigger toward the future and like doing something big.
That's what she said.
What would have been?
There is nothing. That's the thing. You're right. No, there is nothing. And look, Derek Carr, like we said, like Derek Carr, you now have a very real shot at winning your division, and that's half the battle.
Did you think it was going to happen, Dave? Because I know Andrew was very confident. He was. I was getting worried because the Saints. Like you don't trust my sources, Ralph? I trusted your sources, but like up until the weekend, I was getting nervous because look, we can go through the list of like Jimmy Graham, Ndamukong Suh, System Corner, Josh Norman, like the Saints, Deshaun Watson, like these names the Saints had been chasing, like they had been no. So I was kind of getting negative, and I was just thinking, he's gonna go to the Jets. And he's going to make a terrible mistake because now he's like the 5th, 4th best quarterback in the NFC, maybe higher if Aaron Rodgers leaves. Here's my question to you, Andrew. Is he already a top 5 quarterback in Saints history?
Oh, my.
I like that question. Yeah.
That is stupid. Wake up.
This is the richest deal in Saints history, right? Isn't it?
It might, yeah. Because
I don't think Michael Thomas or Drew, I don't think any of them have gotten. Yeah, so
no, Drew. He's
the highest paid Saint in history.
That's right.
No, he's got to show it on the field first. So I'm not ready to say he's that. But yeah, no, I'm excited. But I think Dave touched on something there. I think ultimately, whether this will be deemed a success or not, like the way I look at it is, do you want to win the NFC South and try to make a run for the playoffs? Or do you want to blow it up? And if you're in the blow it up camp, if you're like, I just feel like the Saints would be better off drafting a QB and starting anew and cutting a bunch of veterans. That is one strategy. That is one path, I guess. I don't know that I will ever subscribe to it because I don't believe that you can turn around a team in a year, no matter what. And whether you take the scenic view or if you take the approach of just trying to get better year by year, and you go for it, or whether you just blow it all up and get a bunch of draft picks. Like, I just don't think you can transform your team in a year. It takes time. You have to accrue talent over many years to build a roster.
And also, too, the thing with the Saints is the way the Saints operate their cap is unique compared to every other team. So their path to blowing it up is not the same as Atlanta or whoever.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Atlanta and Carolina have top 10 picks. Yeah. So when you look at a division where 4 teams, and you count Tom Brady obviously leaving Tampa, 4 teams that are really kind of terrible right now, and Carolina and Atlanta, like, they may have resources to get themselves Levis or CJ Stroud, one of those guys. I don't really think the Saints are in play for those guys. I just don't think it's possible. So how are they going to be able to compete with those teams? It's really Derek Carr. And in fact, I would say that with Derek Carr, it kind of vaults the Saints ahead of those teams, at least for the next year or two, until those rookie quarterbacks can kind of figure it out. So I just think if the Saints were going to try to go for it and win the division, this was the move. Because, and again, like, I don't think they were ever going to be able to get any of those quarterbacks anyway. So it's just like, the alternative, honestly, was like Jimmy Garoppolo. You try to make a run at him. The alternative was run it back with Andy Dalton. Like, that. Those were like draft Hendon Hooker in the second or third round, who's got a torn ACL.
I wouldn't have minded Jimmy Garoppolo. Well, look, here's some more.
You would have preferred Garoppolo to Derek Carr?
Maybe, I think so. I don't know.
No way. No way.
What does it say?
Let me wait. I got some more piss to add to your Wheaties here.
Great.
I guess there's some slight concern. This is something I thought of earlier today. Slight concern. I guess what I would say is I would maybe be more excited about this if Sean Payton was still here. Like, I feel like Sean Payton could work with Derek Carr. Like, Sean Payton's not here now. Like, I don't know whether the Saints haven't proven to me yet that they can take a guy like Derek Carr
and elevate him, bring out the best of him. Yeah.
And I mean, that's the thing is, like, if I would tell you you're going to get the same Derek Carr you've seen in Vegas, I think you guys would be like, I don't know about that. I think everybody.
I would take that.
Because I feel like everybody here is like, no, we're going to get Derek Carr, but he's going to be better in New Orleans, and I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if that's the situation.
Well,
so if you're one of those Saints fans out there that's thinking that, I would maybe hold off on that. I would temper your expectations, and I would say you should just expect the Derek Carr you've already seen. I don't think
so. Here's a couple crazy stats for you. Derek Carr, the best defense that he ever played with in his entire career with the Raiders was 20th overall.
Wow.
20th overall.
And they were
How good would you say the Saints defense was this year, Dave? Like, would you call it elite, pretty good, average?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Pretty good.
I don't know. At the end of the season, it was.
All right, so give me describe the Saints this defense this season.
Pretty decent most of the season. Yeah.
Decent most of the season. Okay.
Sure.
The points that defense gave up this year are lower by about 50 points than the best defense Carr ever had with the Raiders.
Wow. And his defense the year they made the playoffs was dreadful. In 2021.
Yeah, so I think Carr was in a situation in Vegas and before that Oakland where, he had to score 30 points. He had to play his best football to have a shot. And by the way, he has the most comebacks in NFL history, right? Doesn't
right.
He has the most fourth quarter comebacks. So like he was constantly trying to rally his team back from deficits and because of all the points that his defense was giving up. But look, Dennis Allen, he's figured out defense in New Orleans. That's kind of his calling card. So, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying the Saints are going to go to the Super Bowl and this is like Matt Stafford all over again, but it kind of has those vibes, at least from the point of acquisition, like it did with the Rams.
Okay.
We're like,
hey, your mouth to Derek's ears.
I'm just saying Stafford, like in Detroit, was on a team that was perpetually awful. He put up some nice numbers, but it was constantly with Megatron as his receiver trying to score as many points as possible to keep up with a dreadful defense that couldn't stop anyone. And Carr was dealing with the same thing. And I actually think Carr could maybe even regress a little bit, but still be more successful than with the Saints.
Okay, I got a serious. Let me ask you this. I just thought of this. Does it concern you at all? Let me finish my question too. Does it concern you at all that the New York Jets were the only other team interested in Derek Carr? Let me finish. Interested in Derek Carr. Okay, and also, could this be? We always joke about how shit happens. The other team does something, and Mickey Loomis doesn't get his guy, but it winds up being for the best. Could this be a situation where it blew up in his face and he actually got the guy, and this is going to suck and blow up in our face? This was supposed to be one of those situations where he accidentally avoids it. Yeah. The Jets come in like last second, sweep David Carr, and then boom, he gets injured in training camp, and you're David Carr. Mickey dodged the bullet there. But
the Matrix.
This is the situation where he actually got his guy, and now we're screwed.
I actually think that already sort of happened with the situation, Dave, because Mickey wanted to give up a 3rd-round pick to get him. Remember that?
Yeah, David Carr saved him from
give us a 3rd-round pick, and Carr's like, you know what? I'm not coming to New Orleans. You forget the trade. You don't get a 3rd-round pick, Raiders. Sorry. And Mickey tried to give up a 3rd-round pick to acquire him, and then he got him anyway without giving up the 3rd. So I feel like there's been
Mickey's
a little bit of that happening.
He's already been saved from himself.
Yeah. So maybe it'll be okay.
Here's another question that I didn't put on the rundown. I'm sorry, Thomas. If you have Michael Thomas highlights, dig them up. But last year for Deshaun Watson, right? It was like the Saints told Teron Armstead to wait, and they were like, "Hey, bro, wait and see if we can get Deshaun Watson, and then we'll bring you back." So Teron Armstead waited. Then of course Watson went to Cleveland, and Armstead went to Miami. I bring this up because the Saints, of course, got Derek Carr. Michael Thomas tweets, "Thank you, Jesus." I don't know if that's a big kind of punch to the face to Jameis Winston. We may get to that a little later. But now is a couple weeks ago, it was Michael Thomas is gone. It sucks. We wish maybe they should have kept him. We're sorry his career went the way it went. But now, Dave, I'm thinking
rush this time. Winston has time. Delivers. Strike. First down. And it's caught by Michael Thomas. Who had the big 3rd and 10. 4-man rush. Winston loads up over the middle, gets it complete. There is Thomas, who's got it on his knees.
Look how much distance there is. The last play we talked about, Carlton Davis getting up in his face. They're trying to drop the linebacker, Devin White, underneath. But when he has that free release, now the tempo and the timing of the play is uninterrupted.
It'd be great.
Split's coming. Winston sees it, gets rid of it. Thomas again. Penalty flies from the secondary. Davis was there.
Yeah, this matchup is just heating up, right? We saw that one play where he was off and he gave up the completion. Michael Thomas is just putting his hands dead in his chest. The defender has the right to that space. You can see clearly extends his hands and gets Carlton Davis back on.
I have to dig in, I have to recover, and I have to get back. And now he's back on the field. And now he's back to throw.
Anyway,
rolling out, looking for somebody on the far sideline. Thomas stretching. Did he get the toes in? He did.
Are we having some audio issues or some people
Watch this footwork on the sideline. You want to plant your outside foot, drag your inside foot. Look at that.
We can't hear the guys. That's vicarious.
The camera work was as good as the footwork.
All they can hear is the highlights. What's going on?
Unbelievable job staying with Jameis there on the scramble drill.
And why Saints has killed the highlight audio.
Second and long.
The highlights are very loud.
The highlights are loud.
No, it should be fine.
Yeah. So it's Jameis highlights. I don't like to mention his name because he gets all upset and this and that. But it was a hard day for Jameis 101. I felt a little bad for him. People were going at him. Saints writers, Saints fans. I mean, Jameis, say whatever you want about him, but part of me feels bad. He never got a full he never got a full shot to do it with the Saints. And it now we're already on to Derek Carr.
I think I said this maybe the beginning of last season, and unfortunately, it didn't come true. But I said, look, this was going to be the year. Jameis was going to get a shot. We were going to finally find out, who Jameis is. You know, is he going to finally? He's on the Saints. He's got these weapons. Is he going to make the most of it? And unfortunately, we still never really got an answer because he went and got injured in the first week of the season.
Making it rain.
And unfortunately, that leaves the door open for Jameis 1 of 1 and other people of his ilk. And that's the most frustrating part about the whole situation. Like, I really, even if it was, hey, Jameis is great, he's awesome, he really is a potential Hall of Fame quarterback, because then obviously, hey, that's a win for the Saints, obviously. And if he's not, and he's a total dud for 16, 17 games, at least we can say Jameis 1 of 1. Just exit stage door left. Just please leave. This is over.
Andrew, final thing on Jameis. Aaron Brooks won a playoff game and got dumped unceremoniously by the Saints too when they signed Drew Brees. They didn't even say it. They didn't even give him like a thank you on the Facebook in 2006. So like Jameis isn't getting anything from the Saints. But my question to you is, there's 32 jobs in the NFL. So like when you start filling out all the jobs, is Jameis Winston going to be a starting quarterback somewhere in 2023?
I could see him being signed to a team and like given a chance to compete against Trubisky or, you know, something like that. Like a situation where he's not handed the job, but he's like, yeah, you can come in here and see if you can beat this guy out kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. It's kind of sad how it all played out. You know, again, it's weird to me that he basically refused to play after he got injured, and I understand why, but I don't know, that relationship was damaged beyond repair. And so like I do feel like Jameis is kind of leaving, it's a little bit sour grapes on both sides. You know, I think he felt betrayed. I think Dennis Allen's like, I'm never working with this guy again. I think there's a little bit on both sides of it, kind of just being, you know, there's blood in the water. But at the end of the day, I don't think Jameis is a bad guy. If anything, like my eyes are kind of open to Jameis in a way that I just didn't really understand him before he came to New Orleans. And I don't know that I was a big fan of his before. I remember when I found out we first signed Winston, I was like, what the hell are they doing? And I don't know, somewhere along the way, I kind of like the guy. And I'm rooting for him. Like, I hope he does well. I don't like, obviously, if he goes to the Falcons or whatever, I'm not going to root for him. But
Carolina.
That would be weird. But yeah, no, like I hope Jameis does okay, and I hope he can stay healthy. Like it could have played out differently if he had stayed healthy, especially that first year with Sean Payton, where, you know, I think at the time he was 5-2 or whatever. And like, who knows if he could have stayed healthy, like what kind of season that would have been, what kind of trajectory would that have put him on? But, you know, obviously the Devin White horse collar tackle happened. He tore his ACL, and that was it.
Somebody said that the Devin White, he's going to get cut from Tampa. He put on the Instagram or whatever. Somebody said that the Saints should bring him in for a visit and then take a baseball bat to him like he's in Goodfellas.
Oh, my God.
But here's the thing, too. I want to mention this. So I forgot who tweeted it, but it was my favorite Saints Derek Carr related tweet of the day. Somebody said the pregame prayer with Derek Carr and DeMario Davis is going to be so strong it's going to raise Benson from the dead. Which
Ralph, you need to drink more. You haven't said Derek Carr yet. You have not gotten his name wrong a single time.
He said David Carr.
I think I said David once.
Did he?
But,
I missed it.
I want to go. I need to get another beer, but it's like, what's the point?
You can't now. Non-alcohol. Non-alcohol.
But I feel like force of habit. I'm like, when I'm in this closet, I'm supposed to be
non-alcoholic beer is like decaffeinated coffee. Like, what's the
Dave's
point?
Like by association. It's like Pavlov's dog. You've like associated being in that closet with drinking a beer.
When I'm talking into a microphone, I have a ring light in my face.
So what's next for the Saints, Andrew, as far as like, because, you know, quarterback has been dominating the Saints for 2 years, the off season last year, right? They went after Deshaun and they didn't get him, and they've got Derek Carr. What's next for the Saints in a sense? I have a two-part question. What's next for the Saints? Not in specific moves, but you can get to those if you want. But in this sense, because they've gotten Derek Carr, are they going to remain in Saints, for better words, YOLO mode like they always are? And are they going to add Derek Carr's contract, create a bunch of more cap space, and get $15 to $20, $25 million under the cap and go out and sign 2 or 3 middle-class free agents, re-sign Caden Ellis, and we're going to be like, oh, they got Derek Carr, they rebuilt the defensive line, they added a running back, and like the cap nerds are just going to lose their freaking minds because they'd be like, how are the Saints doing this? Or are they going to just like the draft and a couple of moves? Like, what's the rest of the offseason going to look like for the Saints now that the number one need has been taken care of?
Well, I don't know the answer to that as we sit here today, and I'm sure I'll find out more like kind of as the offseason progresses, and I'll try to let you guys know in the Discord when I hear about.
By the way, become a patron, get in the Discord. Andrew had the Derek Carr news. He had that shit like Saturday at like a really random time at like 11 at night. He's like, I just want to tell you guys.
Yeah, I told you that I said he's signing with the Saints Monday or Tuesday, or the signs are pointing to that. But I think I think the Saints are more likely to go all in than they are to not at this point. And yes, that means potentially trading up to go get some dude. I think all cards are on the table because I think the Saints are going to look at it like we just got the best quarterback that's going to be available this offseason. And sure, Atlanta or Carolina, they might trade up to number 1 and pick Will Levis or, Bryce Young or whatever. But like, there's no guarantee that those quarterbacks are going to be effective right away, right out of the gate, year one. So I think the Saints are the favorite overnight. They flipped to the favorite to win the NFC South. And so at least I think Mickey Loomis believes that. Whether you want to say that's correct or not, I mean, let's remember how bad the NFC South was. And I just think today, like, they have flipped from maybe like the third or fourth best in the division to the first.
Thomas, you're a magician. He's got Jameis 1-1. I doubt even one media member believes the Saints' Derek Carr will match, let alone best, Jameis Winston's 2021 metrics in 2023. If one does, show me their bet slip, as Vegas will give them a huge payout if Carr can match the metrics Jameis put up in 2021 with Olave and Shaheed. Now here's the thing. Olave didn't play for the Saints in 2021, my man. I'm just saying,
Here's the thing. Like, if Jameis Winston played more than he played 7 games. So like, if Carr doesn't play quite as well, but he plays 17 games, we'll be better off.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
My favorite tweet, I just saw it, was the Greg Rosenthal tweet. Greg Rosenthal, Tulane alum. He said, "Operation Get to 9 wins and save everyone's job in NOLA is on."
Well, he also said the Saints were a broke ass franchise when they brought Derek Carr to dinner and asked him to take a pay cut. So I'm just saying. I mean,
but I don't know.
But I think the Saints vault into like the most likely to win the division by this move alone. So like, I kind of think Mickey Loomis is like, well, okay, how far can we take this? They're already starting to talk about bringing Michael Thomas back. That's already on. That's already out there now. Where like that seemed headed for a divorce and completely done. So now, Michael Thomas is potentially back in, and I mean,
getting the band back together.
Who's to say where Mickey Loomis stops from here?
Well, but here's the thing, like Greg Rosenthal.
Dan Morgan's coming out of retirement.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, like all the cats, like, and Greg Rosenthal wasn't the only one. Mike Tanier and a bunch of other people were basically the same thing that Greg Rosenthal did. Operation Get to 9 wins and save everybody's job is in effect. But like, what the hell's wrong with that? Like, what the hell is wrong with trying to get to 9 wins, trying to get to 10 wins, and win the South? Like, it's not your money, Greg Rosenthal. It's not my money. Like, I don't give – like, if Gale wants to spend $120 million of signing bonus, who am I to tell her what to do? Like, I don't give a damn. Like, so what?
I just, like, for those that want to blow it up, like, I'm honestly curious, like, what do you want? What do you want? You want the Saints to overdraft Hendon Hooker at 29? Like, would that make you happy that they would?
I mean, that would be exciting.
Well,
would it though?
It would certainly move the needle more than signing Derek Carr.
No, it wouldn't.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, here's the thing.
I mean, move the needle in terms of like excitement and like holy shit and like how many more downloads we get for our podcast. Yes, I think them drafting Hooker in the first round.
I don't think so. I don't think that. Dave, I don't think drafting Hendon Hooker moves the needle like it moves the main needle today for this podcast. We had 3,100 downloads. We had 11 signups. Like, people are like, the thing is with Saints, we're like Al Pacino in Godfather 3. Just when they think we're out, they pull us back in. It's easy. It's like that. But here's my question, and this is
hey Thomas. Well, before you ask, Thomas, can you put up a poll in the chat? Should Dave have an alcoholic beverage right now? Yes.
Yeah. He's like,
Octoberisk has already said sober Dave needs a drink. His takes are getting worse. So maybe it's not should Dave drink. Maybe it's do you prefer sober Dave?
It's not, Dave. You're not drinking for yourself. You're drinking for us. That's what you're doing. But here's the question I want you both to answer, and I guess I'll start with you, Dave. Is right now the Saints clearly have the best quarterback in the NFC. Say whatever you want about David Carr. He's better than Ritter.
There he goes. He said it.
He's better than Trask. He's better than whoever Carolina is going to have at quarterback, even if it's a rookie, right? So after the draft and when free agency and the offseason's done, will the Saints still have the best quarterback in the NFC South?
Well, who was Carolina looking at?
They love Will Levis.
Carr.
Yeah, they were looking at him. Yeah. I guess Trask is who? That's
Tampa.
And Atlanta is going to have what's this? Well, Mariota's injured now.
No, Mariota's cut.
He's a free agent.
They got rid of him.
The Desmond Ritter, baby. They say they're riding with Ritter.
Okay, I mean,
could be a lie. Could be a lie.
Desmond Ritter could be some. You have no idea.
Andrew,
I'm not going to pretend to know. So but I would say that's the competition there. I'd say it's Desmond Ritter or Derek Carr. I don't think anybody that Carolina would draft would be better.
Andrew, I won't steal your thunder from the Discord, but you had some intel via some sources about Carolina and what they want to do at quarterback.
Well, they love Will Levis, and he's number one on their board. So I think Carolina's a team you have to look at.
He's more afraid of milk than I am of pronouncing names.
How are you getting Panthers inside info?
Ralph can't say anyone's name right.
That's a good question, Andrew.
He's not.
Are you like a Panthers podcast host in like a double? You're living like a double life.
You're not answering.
My sources have expanded beyond just the Saints.
Oh wow! That's another reason.
We'll start with I got some people in Denver, obviously.
Really?
Yeah. But no, I think look, everyone goes to the combine. So, like, it's kind of one of those weekends where, like, all sources combine. And so you hear a lot. You get a lot of rumblings from that. And so people talk and yada, yada, yada.
But he's afraid of milk. He really is. Like, he puts mayonnaise in his coffee instead of milk. Like, they had a word for it. It's like
Will Levis, Andrew?
Yeah, like a phobia. It's like a phobia, like being afraid of milk.
Gallophobia?
Is he lactose intolerant?
I don't know. But he's afraid of milk, and if he becomes the Panthers quarterback,
That's only 9 votes.
Everybody can drink milk.
People forgot to vote.
Yeah. So for those of you listening and not watching, Sober Dave,
it's terrible.
It was a yes or no question. Yes has about 27% of the vote. 22%.
October Risk is supposedly he will scream at the sight of milk.
That's weird. That is weird. I believe it's called gallophobia.
Gallophobia?
Is that a real thing?
I thought gallophobia was a fear of Junior. I thought gallophobia was a fear of Junior Gillette.
But do you just
fear of belts?
Fear of
now? But how does this start? Do you drink it once and then it makes you throw up, and so then like the side of it from after that just makes you?
That's got to be some like
you have like a mental fix after that.
This is like some Freudian mother like breastfeeding thing. I don't know. This goes back to like I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm spitballing here, man.
I mean.
This is right. This is where we need Kevin. This is right in his wheelhouse.
Well, I mean, putting mayonnaise in coffee is just gross.
That's the guy who puts mayonnaise in his cake recipe. Isn't that you, Ralph?
Mayonnaise in cake, it makes it soft.
Wait,
it makes it moist.
Yes, see?
But it doesn't it doesn't
he's
add
crushing people for putting mayo in coffee. He puts mayo in cake.
But you don't taste the mayonnaise when you eat the cake.
How much are you putting in there?
Like a tablespoon. It just makes it small. It just makes it moist. It just makes it moist. It's a trick. Come on.
All right, just do me a favor. Don't say moist ever.
Moist. So, but Andrew, like, they comforted
people that have problems with the word moist are as weird as people who have a milk phobia.
Nah, that's not true.
But the Saints, like if Atlanta goes with Ritter and Tampa goes with Trask and Carolina drafts a dude, whoever it is.
There's no way. I mean, that would seriously be like, man. It'd be like Derek Carr, take the division, please.
That would be like Dennis Allen. You better go 11-6, or you're getting fired.
Yeah.
Which brings us to our next.
Mayonnaise is the OG throat coat. That was Yola Nola. Good one.
We're thinking of doing a swag item.
My dad just gave 100 bits.
I figured it out finally.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was coming when beforehand he was asking how much 100 bits was worth.
So we're thinking of doing like a stress ball for the 2022-2023 season as like a thank you to any patron that's an annual patron. And we were thinking of just putting the logo on like a little football, like stress thing. But instead of like our logo, should it be our logo on one side and throat coat on the other? Like what? Because everybody loves throat coat. Do we need to incorporate throat coat officially into
Depends
the
on how much
throat
coat pays us, right?
Yeah, that's right. But Thomas,
when are we talking about Kevin?
Well, we'll talk about Kevin's date in a little bit, but
Chad M says that he's a baker and that mayo does make bread softer. That's
exactly
great, Chad. That you're a baker. You're immediately my favorite baker because I hate Baker Mayfield.
you hate Baker Mayfield. So.
I mean, if anything, the Derek Carr situation, what makes me more pleased than anything, is that Baker Mayfield won't be coming.
Yeah, if you're a patron, we did a podcast and it was just Andrew saying how much he hates Baker Mayfield, and it was like 20 minutes long, and only about 3 minutes of it was actually football. Andrew was just like, I hate Baker Mayfield's face. I hate his commercials. I hate everything about him. Like, it was just Andrew.
That's the real reason to celebrate. I will share also that the Saints are interested in having Andy Dalton back as Derek Carr's backup. So they're kind of waiting to see how free agency plays out for him, to see if he gets a cool opportunity, maybe a chance to start or compete for a starting spot. And obviously he would go if he got something like that. But I know the staff had a great experience with Andy Dalton, and believe it or not, they are interested in him being Derek Carr's backup if he would once again take kind of a minimum deal. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Andrew, I had a bunch of people DMing me today and like wanting to know. They were wanting to know not Derek Carr, not the breakdown of the podcast. They had real important requests and inquiries about it. And they were like, when is Andrew going to wear the eyeliner he promised?
Oh, I didn't do
on the podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't do it. You guys are making that up. I would never promise.
And I didn't remember it, but I had like 6-7 DMs. Yeah. I mean, I don't think
that was Kevin, wasn't it? That was Kevin.
No, I don't think our listeners lie. They know. They keep up. They have people. They have spreadsheets. They keep up with all our ridiculousness. So I just like, when are you wearing the eyeliner?
Nope, that ain't me. I ain't about that life. I never said that. Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I mean, Thomas, do we have evidence of that?
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
I don't know. Do we?
If we sign Derek Carr, I'm wearing eyeliner on the shirt.
That's like fabricated. That's like one of those Tom Cruise fake dance videos. That's a deep fake, Thomas.
It's a deep fake. See, I don't think it's a deep fake. I had DMs from people our listeners, man, our viewers, they know. And they're asking that. So, like, when are you wearing the eyeliner? When's it happening?
Surely, why not right now? Your wife surely has some.
Well, my wife just got back from the Philippines, so she's very jet lagged. But, maybe I'll get her to.
Yeah, we might have to.
She does this weird thing sometimes. Sometimes we go out where she does like the cat eyes, she calls it, where like she puts like eyeliner in the corners. Like, I don't know. Have you seen that before?
Yeah. Doesn't do it for you?
I'm such a terrible husband. I'm always like, what is that? What are you doing? She's like,
you messed it up. You went too far.
I look nice. Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe it's her chance to get back at me and do.
We might have to get a patron to come with me because my wife, when I told her I had to make good on my Waffle House bet, that I had to interact with the staff and I could only use Saints names when I did it. She's like, I'm not videotaping. I'm not being a part of that. So I don't know. I only have the one good arm, so I don't know how I'm going to videotape it. I might need to, we have to have a patron.
I know exactly who can help. Yeah, Dave, don't you have a Tulane friend in Houston that wants to meet up with Ralph?
Yeah,
there you go.
That's
because
right.
I'm a small 2,000 square foot shop.
Maybe you'll have to come to Pearland and videotape me at the Waffle House.
Oh yeah, that's right, Keith. Let's go. Let's do it.
Keith, make it happen.
Waffle House is on Saints Happy Hour. Andrew, your dad, now he's dropping some bombs. 4,500 bits over here.
Thomas,
is he in first place?
Thomas. We have a new MVP leader, and it's Andrew's dad with 6,000 bits.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Juice. And by the way, you can sub for free with Amazon Prime every month. There's a link to how to do it. Thomas has a easy to do instructions. Doesn't cost you anything. You just use your Amazon Prime subscription on Twitch, and boom, you help support the show. It doesn't cost you anything. Here's the thing that a lot of people were saying it. I think it was the Fire Dennis Allen crowd, but I think the Fire Dennis Allen crowd, I think they made a good point, and they're like, listen, Dennis Allen, you have no more excuses. Like, you got the quarterback you wanted to save your job. Like, if you can't win this crummy division, you need to get fired out of a cannon. And Dave, like, I kind of agree with him. Like, Dennis Allen, like, it's you and Derek Carr, you're Thelma and Louise, and like, you better freaking win, buddy. No
So would you say that Operation Get to 9 Wins and Save Everyone's Job is on in NOLA?
Oh, it's on. It's definitely.
Sounds like you agree with Greg Rosenthal.
I mean, I don't think Mickey Loomis's job's in jeopardy, though.
No, Mickey Loomis's job is not in jeopardy. Mickey Loomis's job will never be in jeopardy. Mickey Loomis decides whether Mickey
Aaron Rodgers' job might be in jeopardy.
Yeah, well. Mickey Loomis will decide when Mickey Loomis's job is in jeopardy. You could replace Mickey Loomis with Chuck Norris and all those jokes, and they would all be appropriate. I don't know. I look, if they get to 9 wins but they don't win the division again, I still don't know whether 2 years. I don't know. Maybe he gets 3 years. He was an inside job. I don't know.
Wait, you're saying 9 wins doesn't win the division?
It's possible. You never know.
Think Tampa, Atlanta, and/or Carolina get to 10 wins?
I don't necessarily think that, but it's possible.
I think if Atlanta got Lamar Jackson, maybe. But their defense sucks. Like, their defense bad.
I mean, anything can happen. You never know. You just never know.
I'm gonna make a prediction, and I'm terrible at predictions, but I'm gonna predict this. Atlanta is going to be so bad this year on defense, it's going to get Arthur Smith fired. And Atlanta is going to have a new coach. It's my prediction.
Hey, Tomas, check the timestamp on this.
So, here's the thing. The NFL Combine was this past week. Dude running fast in underwear, and you fall in love with a guy you want the Saints to pick. It feels weird that, like, this show would have been like combine centric. We'd have been talking a lot about it. But now that they have Derek Carr, like the only thing I can say, Dave, is they had a bunch of Tulane dudes that look good.
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned. I was gonna just go out on my own and talk about Dorian Williams.
That's right. He's the one. I didn't even know
he was fifth fastest linebacker.
Yes, I was like, wow, get him. Spears.
Tajay didn't run the 40, but that's all right. He's got a little hammy thing he's dealing with.
They had so many good players. You'd think they won a BCS bowl or something, a New Year's Day 6 bowl or something.
I love Dorian. Dorian's a great guy off the field, super nice guy.
There's Bijan.
That's my man. That's my crush. My draft crush. Like
Tajay all the way. It was good. Good for the Green Wave. Good for the Green Wave. I didn't watch any of the combat. The big stories were what's his face coming in at 10.5 inch or 5'10.5. Bryce.
Oh Young. Yeah, Bryce Young. He's barely taller than Mina Kimes. And she's like, he's taller than me. I was wearing heels. I'm like, that's not good. That's not a good enough excuse.
Not good.
No, it's not good.
I don't know if height matters anymore. I mean, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. I mean, there's been some guys that have worked. So I don't know that it's like critical to have the height. But yeah, I mean, draft stock wise, the quarterbacks obviously were the big story. And I don't think Will Levis did anything to hurt his stock. I know
Thank God the Saints got Derek Carr because Anthony Richardson got a 10 Raz. I mean,
yes.
if there was a quarterback ever born to be a Saint, that dude, getting the 10
the perfect Raz, yeah. He tore it up. CJ Stroud looked real good. So, yeah, it makes you wonder, will Bryce Young fall a little bit?
Yeah. Andrew, do you like I think Atlanta or Carolina is getting one of these quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Maybe both of them.
Yeah.
So is there any quarterback that you look at and you're like, please, 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 please pick that guy? Because I think he's going to be terrible.
I mean, I don't know. Of those top four, and really those are the four quarterbacks I think that get picked in the first round. I don't know. Like, I wouldn't bet against Bryce Young. Like, I think he'll be a good player.
Yeah.
CJ Stroud to me is more of a question mark. I think he's a little slow with processing, just delivering the ball. So, everyone seems to think that Will Levis is the next Josh Allen, even though he didn't really produce that much.
There's going to be so many people get fired because they're going to be like, I can fix that. He's the next Josh Allen.
I mean, to me, Richardson is the most likely of the four to not work out, just because like he really wasn't good this year in college football. Or at least as a passer, but he's got the freak skills. So it's kind of like Malik Willis last year. It's kind of, I mean, he's got a little bit of, he's got the Cam Newton size,
October Risk says Atlanta, or I'll even add this, Atlanta or Carolina trading 2 and 3 firsts to move up to get Anthony Richardson would be, because he's not going to be ready year one.
I don't think they'll have to move up. I think he'll fall to those picks because they're both in the top 10, right?
Yeah, well, Atlanta's 7, Carolina's 9. But Dave, if I told you you can only have one of your Tulane people, who do you want? Spears?
Yeah, I would take Tajay.
He's so small.
Bijan.
He's so tiny. Spears is he's not as tiny as the Vaughn dude from Kansas State.
He can slip right through guys. Right, just squirt right through that hole, right through the line. If you come, you best come hard.
And by the way, that would be a great T-shirt with like a football player running the combine.
Oh man!
If the combine, I totally lost my train. That totally threw me off. I'm totally gone. Like,
Ralph's pants just got tighter.
I knew what it was. The receiver crop, Andrew, apparently is terrible this year at the combine. Like Booty for LSU ran like a 4.5. Like the receivers were just terrible. So the receiver crop being terrible in the draft and the receiver crop in free agency also being terrible. To go back to a previous topic, does that make the Saints urgency or desire to keep Michael Thomas even greater, because they look out and they're like, man, the free agent receivers suck. The draft receivers kind of suck. You know what? Let's roll the dice on Michael Thomas year 4. Maybe he can get healthy and get over this hump and we can get something out of him. Like, does that make them more likely to keep him because of what we saw at the combine and in free agency?
I think it's all up to Michael Thomas, honestly. It really boils down to, would he be amenable to changing his contract? Because really, I think the Saints in a perfect world would want to keep him. They just can't assume the risk that they have the last 3 years. And, you know, the amount of money that they've spent on him to basically not see the field for the better part of 3 seasons is, look, that contract is blown up in their face. Mm-hmm. And so I think if they're in a situation where they're protected, where it's a low risk, if he doesn't play, they're not left carrying the bag, but there's upside for Michael Thomas. To me, I always thought he was gone because I never thought he'd be open to that, honestly. I thought Michael Thomas would just say, you know what, just cut me, and I'll go in free agency, and I'll find my new team, I'll find a new deal, and to heck with you guys. So I really never thought Michael Thomas would be open to this. And I got to be honest.
I still don't know whether he is or not.
Yeah, I don't know whether he is or not. I agree. But if he is, I got to say, like, I miscalculated Michael Thomas. I will come out and say, like, if he signs with the Saints and he takes a big pay cut, I will actually be very impressed that he's a team player, that he's being very unselfish. He's acknowledging that, like, I got paid a bunch the last 3 years and I didn't produce and I didn't play and I was hurt. And I want to kind of turn that corner. I want to prove my doubters wrong. I want to rebound, and I want to do that with the Saints. And that would show me a lot. I would be very surprised if he did it, but I would be really impressed.
Dave, what's your quick synopsis? Because you've been a turd in the punch bowl, and you sober is way less fun. You need to get back to drinking, seriously. What's your dream off season for the Saints? What gets Dave, Mr. Negativity, fired up? Like, what do you want to see for the Saints in the draft and free agency? What would get you super fired up for August?
I mean, you know, are we talking like real world situation or like dream?
Real world. Well, I mean, it's got to be realistic, dream, whatever. I don't know.
You know, I haven't looked at all of the scouting stuff and the draft stuff, but I don't know. I would love to get somebody good along the defensive line. In the draft, maybe
multiple
with like that, with that first round pick, or trade down. I'm also a big fan of trading down, getting more picks, getting more guys.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Getting more guys to compete. Well, I'm trying to be somewhat realistic, and just maybe sign somebody first day free agency. One more big surprise signing.
Ooh, I like that. Like if I said they're gonna do, if I said to you we're gonna
say like on the offensive line or something.
Ooh, that'd be interesting. Oh my God, we got to do a Twitter Spaces first day of free agency because the Saints are doing crazy Jarris Bird type activities.
Yeah.
What position would you want, Andrew?
I would want to go running back in the draft. So
first round, I hate that. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's 29.
I don't know. I hate it.
I was going to say defensive tackle.
Yeah.
Somebody, Osman says draft both Tulane players.
Well, I can get behind that.
If they do that, when we do our draft live stream, we're just gonna have the Tulane fight song underneath us the whole show.
I like Tyjae Spears too. Like he's going to be a good NFL player, I think. But like every mock draft I'm seeing on Saints Twitter takes him. It's like, guys,
and it's like a D+, F-.
Yeah, I know. It's
PFF,
like
because they take him like 3 rounds.
I feel like half of Saints Twitter is a Tyjae Spears hype account now.
Yeah.
Now you know what it's like watching LSU fans.
So, Thomas, before we get to questions, give us a MVP update.
Andrew's dad is still in the lead, but Chad M has donated. Chad M has gifted 5 subs, so he's only 1,000 bits behind. Also, a dirty old Mick has subscribed with Twitch Prime for free. Thanks, man.
Thank you, guys. And by the way, I have a new fathead. It's Alvin Kamara in an orange jumpsuit.
Ouch.
Oh. So so Thomas, it's time. Play the finger guns. Take it to the top. And by the way, that was funny of Gillikin when they Saints tweeted out a picture of Derek Carr. He tweeted the little kid holding his stomach and looking kind of confused. It was good by Gillikin. I guess he's gonna have to. Derek Carr is gonna have to buy his number back from Blake Gillikin.
Is David Carr on Cameo, by the way?
Oh my God! If he is.
I know. I'm assuming Derek isn't because he's too famous. But if David is, that could have amazing potential.
That would be the better. It could be. It could if David Carr would nail the intro on Cameo, it could supplant friend of the show Ben Mintz, his open. It really could. It could go to the pantheon of the Sean Payton open if we could get David Carr to do our show open. But Thomas, what we got question wise?
I'm now enjoying a La Croix, a very refreshing La Croix.
Put some
questions dominated by Derek Carr topic. I mean David, obviously.
Making it rain.
Hudadami guy, thanks for the Twitch Prime. Before I start the first question, and first question belongs to Bruce HC from Scotland. If David Carr is even remotely successful, what will that do to the eyeliner industry in Louisiana? That's the question for Andrew, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. This is more of a Kevin wheelhouse thing. We need Kevin.
Yeah,
maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybelline endorsements for days. I mean, Derek Carr. I'm getting there.
There is a guy on Cameo who has the name David Carl. Should we maybe? It's only $25.
Sure.
Who is that? Who the hell is David?
Does it matter? Does it matter?
It doesn't
and
matter.
just Cameo addiction.
$25.
I feel like Derek Carr. He could do something with like local car dealerships here in New Orleans. Like, there's definitely some puns to be had.
Somebody. I saw a headline that Jets got carjacked.
Oh,
nice.
which was inappropriate.
The headline should have said Jets get carjacked in New Orleans or by New Orleans.
Next question.
Next question, Sean, you say. Next question belongs to Saints Rabbit, the usual suspect. How many Carr Pun jerseys can Dave pump out before the market gets flooded by Dirty Coast and smaller knockoffs?
I don't even try. I let Dirty Coast do all that. I don't even
because I'm a small 2,000 square foot shop.
It's incredible. You played the soundbite for me at the start of the show, and I was like, when would you ever possibly use that soundbite? And you have now used it twice this show, so there you go. Prove me wrong.
Osman wants Derek Carr to be throat coat sponsor. Spokesperson.
Hey, baby, you can drive my car. Carjacked. That was a good one. That's my favorite, actually, to be honest with you. And very appropriate for New Orleans.
Making it rain.
Any more, hit me up.
What's that 80s song? Here in my car.
Oh yeah, the Cars.
The Cars. So many puns.
Next question.
Making it rain.
Next question from King Okra. He asks, how can we possibly afford to keep Michael Thomas? If we do, will this be the nail in the coffin for the Cup nerds?
Well, I think we can.
Well, he'd have to take a pay cut.
Yeah. We can't afford to keep him right now.
I think the Saints going out and getting another free agent at the top of the market, no matter the position, would really cap nerds would die, Andrew, I think. Like if they would go out and get like a defensive end, I don't know who that would be, but like a top of the market defensive end or like a defensive tackle. Even, you know what? Even if the Saints go out and get like two mid-price guys on like the same day where they're giving them like $10 million each, like the cap nerds are going to lose their mind. They're just
yeah. There's a small part of me that's like, I almost don't care how reckless Mickey Loomis gets. Like they're like make the cap like $150 million next year. I don't care. Over. Just sign whatever.
I mean, even with Derek Carr and all the stuff they're doing, they still have like next year they're going to have like $12 million of space. So like they're fine. Like I just like as long as Gale's willing to do it, like get regular. And here's the thing, like people listen to podcasts, you know, in your heart, you love it. Like if the Saints would go and trade for, I don't know, Cooper Kupp or get a receiver or whatever, or defensive end, or like Frank Clark, Kansas City just cut him. Like if the Saints signed him for like 3 years, $30 million, you'd be like, yeah. I mean, like you don't admit it, but deep in places you don't like to talk about, Dave, they love the transactions just as much as me do.
It's true.
Next question.
Okay, final question of the show.
Final question.
Finale. And this is the question from last week, by the way, but it's so good that I had to include it. With all of this throat coat talk and knowing Andrew's son and the crew listen to the show, how long will it take Andrew's wife to find out beat his ass?
Question of the year.
That's by CCB Nola, by the way.
Question of the year.
Oh, good question. Good question. Well, Fritz and Eckert, whoever. What are the kids' names?
Henrik and Carson.
Henrik and Carson. If you're listening, kids, hey, be cool. Don't tell your parents, okay? Don't tell your parents what we talk about on the show. If you come, you best come hard. Oh my God, how are you going to defend that?
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, here's the thing: I gave up cursing for Lent, so I've only dropped like one or two inappropriate words this entire podcast.
You guys are about as reliable as Adam Troutman catching footballs.
Why are you still letting your kids listen?
Know that
I'm
the
not
Troutman
a big fish guy.
There it is.
Is it time for great question, CCB Nola? Is it time for Kevin Love update?
Yeah, it is.
Is he back from his date? He was on Discord earlier.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's not going well?
Jason Champagne says rule number 1 about throat coat is you don't talk about throat coat. Rule number 2 is you don't talk about throat coat.
If it's your first throat coat, you gotta drink, the whole bottle.
So we got the Kevin Love update. Do we have?
He's not here because
he's not here. He's on a date. So good luck to him.
But he's talking on the Discord right now, so maybe I don't know. Maybe he could.
Your first throat coat is just a gateway to your second coat throat.
Yeah, all right, coat throat. All right, Ralph. But he's here. Look, he's here in spirit, and he's here in person.
There he is. There he is. It's beautiful.
He's always close to your heart, Kevin.
Now, did Kevin talk in the chat earlier and then disappear? Or is he really?
He did. Right, he talked for a bit and disappeared. We thought we were gonna have
maybe they did a little Netflix and chill.
Oh, thanks to Andrew's dad. Donated 1,000 bits. Thank you.
Is he officially the winner? Is it over?
I don't know.
No, we had a tie before those 1,000 bits dropped. But he's now the leader again.
Bidding war.
So before we get to the official wrap up of the MVP, Thomas, do we have a video from last week?
No, Cook Duck won last week, but he didn't send me a video, unfortunately.
Yeah. So, guys, you win. Send in a video. Get your perks. Get your perks, man. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Dad, take a 30-second selfie video of yourself.
And
say something
Dave.
nonsensical.
Make sure you insult Dave.
Insult Dave. Yep. And,
or just tell us a tale from Andrew's youth where he gave you. Was like you pants. No, dude, Andrew used like he cost his father like multi-thousands of dollars in phone bills, and apparently the French internet was like super. He was telling me at the live show that it was super expensive, and Andrew did use that. And I need Mr. Juge, go call the hotline and give us like tales from Andrew's youth. That's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I do remember, back then, like you had to, and you when you would do the internet, you had to dial
that was crazy expensive.
And it was very expensive, and like
it was just your phone bill.
It was, yeah, but I would be on the internet from like 7 p.m. to like 2 a.m. Like straight. So yeah,
Jesus.
My bad. Sorry, Dad.
Looking up Saints statistics, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it's they should have known that Wi-Fi was the way to go. They should have learned. I was ahead of my time. What do you want?
That's right. So, Thomas, before we get out of here,
he's going to send the video. He's going to send it to Andrew.
What's is Andrew's dad the MVP winner?
Yes, sir. He's the winner with 7,000 bits. For the first time in his career.
No,
also, thanks to Chad and 333, Badrich, Who That Army Guy, A Dirty Old Make My Bagger, Vicarious 28, Wilfredo, and Illinois for supporting during the show, guys.
Thanks. You guys.
Thank you, guys. And
good
thanks,
stuff.
Thanks to everybody who signed up today to support the show because of the breaking news. Whenever the Saints, whenever they have news, people... We either get new listeners or people that they listen during the year. They come on back. It's like the first day of school. They come on back, and it always warms our heart when we're like, oh god damn, over 3,000 downloads and the Saints hit the news. So we always appreciate it, guys. So thanks for supporting the show. It allows us to do what we do. Become an annual patron. Save yourself 2 months. Get 2 months for free. Butteridge said no hotline. Yeah, no hotline. We didn't get enough of horrible rumors of draft prospects that you want to fall to 29. Do a better job next week. Call it with horrible rumors of players you want to fall to the Saints at 29, and maybe we'll have a hotline. Just saying. So guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks to Kevin, who's on a date, for not showing up. Thanks to Dave. Thanks to Andrew. Thanks to Thomas, running the show in Poland, doing an amazing job as always. And guys, remember, if you're going to support a Saints podcast, you ought to support the one that wins award. Until next week, the bar is closed. 14 years, I love my wife.